Hello everyone and welcome to LSI F1.5 Championship. We're here today for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix round 10 out of 16. This is going to be a very, very good one. Always is for Saudi Arabia. Extremely dramatic, as you can already see. Bit of a mistake there for Reese, unfortunately, and a lot of lag, which I hope goes away. Now, I do want to have a quick disclaimer right here. I do apologise if you can hear any background noise. It's not gunfire, it's fireworks. I do apologise. It's just a celebration over in the UK that occurs once a year. So I apologise, but it is what it is. We'll have to deal with it. It will eventually stop later on into the evening, I'm sure. But other than that, we're here for qualifying. No one set a lap time yet. 14 minutes left on the clock. Of course, we had Reese make that mistake. We got Cohen, who could possibly try and challenge for pole position. Very, very quick recently, we've seen. I'm sure it will be a possibility. Now, Zingy e-race yesterday, pretty quick. What will the strategy be like, especially with the new update for the game?
Yeah, the new update is going to bring in a lot of twists and turns with, especially the strategy. I feel those soft tires can go a bit further, I believe. So maybe we'll be able to see some split strategies for the race, as the hard tires were able to go around 20 laps. They were very, very solid. As we see Marco pole position at the moment, Gilly 1/10 behind, restarting into the pit lane. Larlick on a lap at the moment as Cohen sets the fastest, easily beaten by Alfie in a 1:28.5. Larlick into the last corner now. He's going to run as close to the wall as he possibly can, up to the line. It's not looking good at the moment, though. It's going to be a really scruffy lap time. I think he might have made a mistake in the first sector, I believe. Speaking of, I think JJ's had a little bit of an excursion into turn 1, so that's unfortunate.
Once again, Mizzy up the order, doing pretty well, but beaten by both Williams. And actually 2/10 ahead is Alfie. So, brand new to LSI, of course. I knew it was quick, but I wasn't entirely sure on their pace. So they're in F1.5 today. We'll, of course, see how it goes for them. If they can prove themselves, then they might be able to see some progress later on. But we'll have to see how that goes. Benjamin into P3 at 29.2. And an AlphaTauri going through. That is Nifajan, who is a higher tier driver. We have Blake in the other AlphaTauri, but Blake does have a qualifying ban to serve today, and then next weekend they have a tyre penalty, of course. So they've got a little bit of work to do, but that's part of it, isn't it? So Blake gonna have to start as well. I say at the back, if JJ and Lepic don't set lap times, then they will get positions over them. They'll definitely start ahead of Wesley Caspers. So it's not exactly at the back, but that's how it goes. So it's not really their fault for that. Now, let's see what is going to happen here. We've got Reese once again on another outlap. Also JJ, I think, on an outlap. Robbo in the pit lane, interestingly. They've got a tyre penalty, actually, so they're going to serve that. And they'll probably come out later on in the session, because they're probably only going to have a chance to do about 2 runs on a set of soft tyres, as that tyre penalty means you only get 1 set of tyres towards the end of the session. So there's a couple of situations that those two have got themselves in, and they will have to deal with that, and I'm sure that they can still have a very good race. It's not exactly race ending, of course. We shall see how the session progresses. We're going to go on board with JJ as he does start his lap. Goes purple in the first sector, it says. So, looks pretty good, looks pretty tidy, I assume, as we head into turn 16 and 17. Really got to get it as far left as you possibly can to open up the corner. Ride the curve on the inside, but they don't actually ride it. Interesting strategies, DRS available here. This is going to be a great place to catch up to the cars ahead, line up and move on the exit of turn 22, which is around about now. Lovely stuff. Once again, similar to turn 16, rides the curve a little bit harder, wrong angle, and it will throw you off as so. Now down the DRS straight. This is going to be a great place to overtake into turn 27, but also the start-finish straight will be a great place to overtake. It really depends what part of the race you are going to try and make a move on. Now, across the line, DRS once again. Here we go. What's the lap time going to be for JJ? And it is a 30.4 Oh, so a little bit of a mistake on that lap maybe. Of course, we did see a couple as they do ride over the curb, but they just need to get that banker lap in, otherwise they might find themselves struggling later on.
Would you like me to take for you a lap of Robbo? He's about to start one at the moment. Oh, wait, never mind. Making me look like an absolute fool. Robbo, obviously, with that tyre ban. I don't know what his intentions
How about
were.
Benjamin?
Yeah, Ben, let's go on board with Ben. Where is he? Yeah, oh no, he's in the first sector. Oh dear. We're having a mare at the moment. Actually, no, Marco's on an outlap. Marco, I can't actually remember his performances recently. Has he raced?
Not for a while, but there are
okay.
outright paces there. It's just a couple of mistakes that have ended their race and a bit of contact with the wall, which might affect them.
Well, hopefully not. Coming through the last corner now, you want to really open up the exit. It's a long pit straight here. You need to really get the accelerator down early, and he's done that very nicely. DRS open, you want to keep the car as straight as possible, like an arrow. Down, start, finish straight now into turn 1. You want to brake around the 100-meter board. You want to kind of cut the curb on the inside and turn to a swell coming out of the first 2 corners now, and he's got some good traction. Now this is a very important part. Turn 4, you want to stay to the inside as much as possible. These corners come at you so fast. It's right, left, a double left here. This is a very crucial point here. Turn 8, it's really easy to invalidate, but he's actually kept it on track, and it's a very clean first sector. Coming through the split now, and he's purple by 0.3 of a second, let's just say. That's absolutely sublime. Coming through the fast hairpin now, coming towards turn 16 and 17. As you said previously, we want to stay to the left hand side, swoop the car in, keep the car straight as possible, get on the accelerator as early as you can, as close to the right hand side wall as you possibly dare. Coming onto the new DRS zone for this game, which was just about implemented a couple of months ago, which is going to be very good for overtaking. Coming into turn 22 now, he's kept it nice and smooth. He's almost hit the wall. That was very close there. DRS open for the one final time before coming into the last corner. You want to keep to the inside and then drift off to the outside to minimise the distance. Coming through the last corner now. Don't do what Max Verstappen done and hit the wall on the outside. He hasn't. And now up to the line, it's going to be a 1 minute 28.8, which puts him P3 just behind Williams. They can't be beaten so far. Wow.
Thank you very much, though. That was a very good one. Not quite able to do it there. It looked pretty good to begin with, but unfortunately not so far. Alfie and Cohen are right on the outlaps right now to try and improve again, but unfortunately Alfie making a bit of a mistake, so they're going to have to go again a little bit later on. Hearn is, I think, starting a lap right here, if I'm correct, just because of the slight bug. Blake is on an outlap to go straight back in because they're able to apply their setup. Robbo made a mistake in the first or second corner. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened there with Robbo. That was a little bit of a tricky situation for them, so that's qualifying gone. They will not be able to set a lap time after all, so they're in a bit of a difficult moment for now. But yeah, Cohen on a lap invalidated that one. Benjamin invalidated their lap, so they're not going to be able to improve. 7 minutes on the clock at the moment. They've got to be careful and how they do this. Anybody else going to be starting laps soon? I think we could go and head on board with Matty in a bit and have a look at what's going on. But yeah, Benjamin got some interesting racing lines in the qualifying session. We've got to be careful with that, otherwise they might get themselves a penalty. But yeah, we're going to go on board with Matty as they actually already crossed the line. My bad there, 40.6. Unfortunately not going to be pushing themselves up the order too far. They're going to have to go again. They still have time to go again later on, but running out of time, I will say.
Oh, there's almost a crash there between Lepig and I'm pretty sure that was Ben. Ben hitting the wall and Lepig having to take avoiding action. Are these guys racing into turn 22? Ben looks to have got a bit of damage. They both run wide. It's a bit of racing and qualifying here. Benjamin with the DRS. Is he going to go for the move? Always went for it. Down the inside. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Ben's just trying to get ahead to start a new lap or what. No, he's got damage. He's got damage. He's been switched back. Ben tries to get the cut back once again. Oh my days! They've crashed. They have battled in qualifying and it's ended up in a catastrophe. Lepig with a 5-place grid penalty according to the game for causing a collision. Now that is something I've never seen before.
Yeah, so that is unfortunately gonna probably be a quali ban for those guys. Hate to say it, but it is what it is. That's what they're gonna have to live with. For the next race in Brazil, which luckily for them is a sprint race, so they won't exactly be affected too much. But yeah, that's really not good. For those guys, it is what it is. Reese on an out lap, we could possibly see them out. We actually have Gilly. Are they on a lap here to try and improve? No, I think they're on an in lap. And Kern, I guess, as well, is on an in lap. I assume they're probably not doing another one. They've been out on these tyres for quite a long time now. So yeah, we will go on board with Reese and have a look at how things go. Zingy, setup wise, what do you want to run around a circuit like this, and also how will a qualifying kind of advantage setup compare to a ideal race setup?
Well, a qualifying setup, obviously we're on a bit higher wings so that you're able to get the car flowing around the fastest time possible, but in the race you got a heavier fuel load and you can compromise a bit of downforce for straight line speed and keep the lap time roundabout, if not improve a little bit more. You need to remember that race setups are obviously for the race. Wow, who wouldn't have imagined that, eh? So, so basically what I'm saying is, if you have a race setup, you will be a bit compromised. This race going for a spin! Oh, that's a hefty crash. That is, oh dear.
Dropped it on the traction, interestingly. That was just before turn 7, so they've tried to keep it as flat as possible. Car just gave up. Sorry to butt in there, but that's a bit of an interesting one.
Yeah, wow, that may be something to do with, a setup. Yeah, that might have been I don't know, that was a very, very sudden slide. I don't know what happened there. Maybe he just lost all grip on the tyres. Possibly a bit of overheating, which could have been caused by his higher tyre temperatures, as Niffle's getting disqualified, my apologies, because he's a higher tier driver. Now, Alfie's going to be setting his last lap within the next few minutes. Gilly also coming. This is where we're going to see a flurry of drivers coming onto the track. So let's hope, for their sake, they don't get held up, because this is a track where it's a long track, right? But in some sense, it's very easy to get held up in this track, because if you catch someone at the wrong time, you can be affected by that. Dirty air is very prominent around this place, considering how fast some of the corners are, and we might see some of that. Also, I do want to note, Aaron, that on that first lap, I seen Alfie and Cohen were very close, and maybe that's why Alfie gained a bit of time due to the slipstream slingshot effect. So, I'm not doubting his pace, but he may have eked out that extra couple hundreds via that, so...
Would have been a nice way to work together. Of course, a circuit like this, you can get a big advantage from doing so. I want to talk about, quickly before they finish their lap, Larlock. He had very, very good straight line speed in Mexico, and this is another circuit that would complement that kind of style of setup, which would be high speed. So Larlock could do well here. Bit of a brush of the wall on the exit of 17, so they've got to be careful. But yeah, I think Larlock can do well here. Obviously, they'll have to be patient in the corners, though. That's going to be something to look at. But they will finish their lap very, very shortly. We'll watch on board until they do so. And then we'll head on board with, I think, Alfie for the next one. The current pole sitter who's going to try and defend their current lap time. But for now, where will Larlock get to, as they will get the final corner, DRS available across the line. This is probably their final lap, although it has been a nice clean one, and that is a P6. They're up by 3/10 now. Alfie on board and validated, actually, so not ideal at all for them. Cohen in P2 at the moment, and they're on a lap that's going to help them, of course, with their teammate invalidating. Will their teammate get another shot at quali? I'm not quite sure.
Missy validated on his first lap, I'm pretty sure, so he's going to be going onto a second one on the same soft tyres. Will that affect him? Probably so, considering the soft. Although do die off very quickly here, they still have a lot of pace. Coming through the first two corners, he's kept it clean. He's going to watch it for Benjamin, though, who's a couple of seconds behind. We've seen that Ben, I mean, he's the championship leader, he's one of the fastest here. He's very capable, put him in the back of any sort of car, and he'll probably drive the wheels off it. and he's very, very good. Although he has made a bit of a mistake there, going a bit wide at turn 8, which would have lost him time. He didn't really use the track extending to his advantage, and he's down by 600s in the first sector as a result of that. So coming through the very fast hairpin, he's lost the car, he spun. Benjamin's tyres, possibly due to that turn 8 little slide, have overheated and he's spun. And that's going to be it for qualifying. Benjamin P5 at best. Gilly is going to be out qualifying them, although he's not on a lap. Gilly's also backed off, so for the championship leaders, this is absolutely dreadful.
Not ideal. The other guys are, well, they have nothing to lose at the moment. We've got Kern, who I don't think managed to, and they did improve actually, but they're 1/10 behind still, so I don't think they're going to get another lap, and we'll have to see if they are pushing or not later on. Is Mizzy on an improvement lap, and is it going to be enough to try and challenge for pole, even the top 3, even the front row? Is it going to be possible across the line? And it is a P3 in the end. It's not enough to get to the 0.6s to get out of Cone, and a 0.5 to beat Alfie. Marco, they're invalid. They're not going to get another lap in. Gilly isn't going to get a lap in. Of course, Larlock, they're not going to be able to do one. JJ invalid. Mildil Mati, are they going to be able to improve here? They got a lot of time that they're going to have to try and get off of their current lap time if they want to go up the order. What's it going to be for Mati? And it was not an improvement on position, so that's it. Alfie. Was it Alfie? Yeah, Alfie made a mistake. Are they going to get another lap in? No, they won't. And that is it. I think it was Cohen who I thought might be able to have a go at one more, but it's not. It's not enough. Cohen in P2. Great stuff for Williams. Williams 1-2. They're on the thumbnail, of course, as well. And then that's Mizzy in P3 at the very end there.
Yeah, that was a great qualifying session for Alfie, the rookie, on his debut, of course, at one of the hardest tracks, I'm going to say personally, in the game. And he smashed out a lap time that no one can get close to. His teammate in P2, Cohen, obviously, as I said, in USA actually, I said that he's always there when he can string in a good lap together, and there he is, P2. The Mizzy, Mizzy's been great all season. He's managed to find the pace, and even on that old set of tyres he improved. So that is the top 3. Obviously we have Marco, Gilly, Benjamin the championship leader, Larlock, JJ, Matty and Reese rounding at the top 10. And then you got people like Blake who was also in the championship hunt, I'm pretty sure, a couple of races ago, but he seems to have dropped off, so I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen there. So yeah, that's the grid.
Yeah, obviously Blake, a couple of races that didn't go quite to plan. We had Japan that they were trying to fight for the championship, pushed it a little bit too hard, fight for the win, sorry. And of course the last few races that they've had a couple of issues as well. So struggling in that regard. They can still try and bring it back because we have more sprint races later on in the season. But looking at the grid, we have Alfie on pole position, Kern in P2, Mizzy in P3. This is the rest of the grid. And then we'll skim through the race director just in case. And then we will be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready? Hold. Go! go. Who's going to get it into turn one? Will the Williams be able to maintain it? I think they will. A pretty good start for those guys. Marco's off. And Gilly's out. Gilly's out. I don't believe it, off the line. 2 cars right away. 5 seconds for Reese. No, Blake with Reese. I don't know what happened there. The safety car is out. What on earth just happened there? Alfie loses the lead to Mizzy, Benjamin, JJP 4 and 5, Reese in P6. There was a collision with them and Blake. They got a time penalty. That was really, really weird. I don't understand what just happened. I don't know who's got damage. We've got Blake with damage. Wesley Casper's at the back of the grid at the moment. They have damage as well, so they were affected by that. As pretty much just a collection of cars there. We have Larlock with damage. I don't know if Robbo has any. He was quite far
Blake's
back at the time.
No wing.
Yeah, Blake no wing. Nifo, I think they've got away with it. Reese, that's what I'm interested in. So there was something that had gone on with Reese and Blake somehow. They're quite far away, so I don't really understand what's going on here. Other than that, I think we're good to go further up the grid, but early pit stops. Luckily, we've got that new tyre allocation update.
Wow, that was... I don't even know what happened at the start. Everyone seemed to be getting away well. Cohen, by the way, what a start. I don't know if you've seen it. I was on board with Alfie and he just shot past him. So Cohen, with his amazing starts once again, being able to make the most of it. Mizzy seemed to capitalise on Alfie's a bit of a bad launch. And the McLarens of JJ and Ben are in a very good position. Ben almost runs into the back of Alfie, so it's a little bit close on the safety car. And as you said, Larlock, Blake, maybe a few others will have damage and need to box. Yeah, Larlock, Lepic, Blake, and Wesley. Wesley seems to have a bit of damage in. So I don't know what's going on. Honestly, I'm speechless.
So I have a little bit of intel of what happened. So it's not what it seems. First of all, I just want to get that out of the way. Marco didn't just floor it and that happened. So don't think of it like that. Marco started the race and they say their tyres were about 0 degrees. They were like pretty much minimum. So they put the throttle on and obviously the car just spun. So I don't know. It's another one of those bugs, and it's happened in the past with the game, and it's just a shame that we have to see it again. I'm going to quickly get the report code just in case we need it for later on, so I do apologise for pausing the stream right there, but just need it just in case, and then we'll have to look at this one after the race. But it's not what it seems. It's very unfortunate, and that's 2 drivers out of this race and nothing we can do, so it's a shame.
Yeah, obviously we can't really help that, although I know Ben in a way will be happy and sad. He won't want to see his championship rival go out like that, but in a way this opens up an opportunity for him and McLaren on the alternate strategy. Everyone seemed to have gone mediums. You got everyone with the exception of the 2 McLarens and Nifo that are on the hard tyres, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see what these guys on the different strategy are going to be like. Obviously the medium tyre will be faster at the start, but as we've seen from Luke, in the first stint of the race, the medium tyres weren't really able to do much on the high fuel. And just a note to self, Aaron, Blake has stopped onto the hard tyres and is looking to potentially go to the end of the race. So look out for him later on, and let's see where he can end up.
Yeah, so Eagle Pro did 22 lap on the medium tyre yesterday. And then he got a puncture. So the mediums can go about 20 laps. So I reckon the hards can, of course, go to the end, especially the longer we spend under the safety car. So Blake's going to be struggling, but they can still get something out of this. Maybe wait for another safety car later on and try and finish the race on a set of mediums. It really depends on what the tyre allocation is, of course. That is Robbo into the pit lane, interestingly. Do they have a new front wing? They do. So I don't know, they must have had contact under the safety car.
I didn't see anything from my POV, so...
I mean, did they have a time penalty?
No, actually...
Wait and see.
No, I don't think they did. No, because if they come out the pits, it won't see anyway.
No, okay, so it must have been something to do with the wall, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I'll go check for you in a moment. No penalties, so... Must have just been an incident with another driver or the wall, as you said, so... Unfortunate, but in a way, That's good because he's got a little bit of fresher tyres now, although he has lost a bit of track position, which is very unfortunate.
We've got a higher tier driver up ahead. Blake's on the hards, so they can try and get through. Of course, they're on that second medium, and they haven't really been that long on that first medium tyre. If they started on the medium tyre, that is, I can't quite remember. But we're about to go racing. We've got about a sector and a half to go until we will be green flags once again. Then we'll lead the way. Mizzy in P2 and Alfie in P3. Benjamin and JJ, they can work together in P4 and 5 to try and get a good restart. But it will be all eyes on the Williams and the Mercedes in P2, of course. So in a bit of a sandwich here. I don't think they're communicating, the two Williams, but of course there's going to be a little bit of, I guess you could say, brotherhood kind of agreement that you try and help each other as much as you possibly can. So we'll have to see how that goes. As long as it's fair, we'll be good to go. Now, Curran will lead the way. The safety car is on its way in. We won't be able to go racing just until it gets slightly closer. We don't want that throttle limiter, of course, causing us any problems as we did get last weekend. When's he going to go for it? We're on board with Mizzy right now to try and see what happens here. Safety car in right about now, and he can go for it any point, so close, and there's contact, and Curran might have got damaged. I hope they haven't. I really hope they haven't. They've gone for it. Mizzy's there. Benjamin, interestingly, very close to the back of Alfie, and Alfie gets distracted and into the wall. I don't believe it. Alfie's into the wall. That's Reese up to P5 after that one. Mizzy's gonna get away from their teammate. I don't believe it. That was absolutely crazy. Couple cars trying to warm up their tyres. Gonna be careful with the cars close behind them. Wesley Casper's already up to P11 after that one. I don't understand what just happened on the restart. Getting caught out with those tyre temperatures, it seemed, and that is unfortunately Alfie from at the front to all the way to the back. Mizzy got a bit of a gap to Curran. Benjamin, even bigger gap, and that's JJ getting passed by Reese. Blake retires from the session out of turn 7. So don't know what happened there. No safety car, as we have just come out of a safety car. So that's more points gone for the AlphaTauri driver.
Yeah, that's an absolutely insane start. Off the safety car restart.
Side by side with Alex, sorry.
Oh my days. It's nearly 4 abreast. Oh my days, 3 people went off track. It's absolutely carnage. And oh my jeez, Matty's in the wall. He's lost his front wing. He's going to have to pit for a new wing at the moment. But here comes Lepic on Larlick for P9. Going around the outside into turn 22. Larlick's going to be smart and backing off. Matty goes a bit wide because he can't really brake without that front wing. And wow, that's insane. Juju's lost so many positions and we haven't really seen it. Reese is going to be all over the back of Ben, coming into the last few corners. Remember, it is on that medium tyre, so he will be a bit faster for the moment. Niffle losing the back end coming out the final corner. Reese using that ERS, but I'm presuming Ben is too, considering he's not catching much. Into turn 1, Ben's going very defensive. Reese is going to hang it right around the outside, but Ben closes the door, and that's going to be Reese in P4 at the moment, although he gets a tap. He gets a tap from Niffle. And Niffle backs off because he realises that he can't overtake into turn 4. And speaking of, Wesley's going to have a little look, but he thinks better of it. And he gets the switch back! He gets the switch back on JJ. But here comes Robbo. Oh, JJ spun! He spun into the out section. I can't believe it. JJ getting overtaken. He tried to defend the position. Those hard tyres clearly not living up with the I mean, just in general, the hard tyres aren't very grippy. And he spun around.
Don't believe it. Lepic might have got damage from that one as they had to take avoiding action. Luckily, they're still in this race, but they might have a bit of a struggle. We'll have to watch on board, or watch that gap, I should say. But further up ahead, of course, we've got the 2 higher tier drivers. They're looking to go pretty close. That switchback that Wesley Casper's got was very fair. JJ just tried to push it a little bit more, and he was, of course, on the inside line. So The tyres just kind of gave up. Benjamin leads this train. It's so close. Wesley Casper's trying to get the run. We're going to watch on board with Robbo as he's at the back of this pack at the moment and can get a great view. Wesley Caspers wants to try and get a move here before the DRS is extremely effective and sends it to the inside. Does the Mercedes. He's going to get a lovely run. Is he going to be able to maintain it though? As Wesley at the outside line and the advantage. Here comes Reese though, who's going to have another advantage, another opportunity, and that's actually Niffo going to the outside line. But Reese, second time running, is he going to be able to get the switchback to work this time? He nails the inside line. Does the AlphaTauri, blocking Reese. There's a little bit of contact, but right now that's all that can be done. Robbo has to slot in behind Wesley Caspers once again, can't get through. Lepik is able to catch up. If he can get in the DRS, he'll be in this battle, and that'd be great to see. And there's contact. Reese is round. I don't know who was tagged by. I don't know if that was Niffo or I don't know what happened there. They're all of a sudden down the order. Contact on the rear. They're still in this race. No damage for them, so they can get back to this one.
I don't believe there was contact as Niffo loses the car. I think Reese just spun in his own, so that's very unfortunate. From what I've seen anyway, it didn't look like there was any contact, but we'll go along with it. As Ben loses the car coming out of the chicane, coming onto the straight now, he uses a bit of battery, gets alongside the McLaren of Benjamin, coming into turn 22. One of them are going to have to back off and Wesley's ahead, so Benjamin's going to back off for a moment. He loses the car and exit with Wesley, however. But Robbo's over the back of both of them, so coming into the last few corners now, Benjamin with the slipstream and DRS is going to shoot past. Robbo's going to look for a move past at the moment, and he does. Robbo's now up into P4, tapping the back of Benjamin a little bit. That compromises his run anyway. Ben goes very defensive onto the straight. Coming into turn 1 now, he's going to go back to the racing line. But is Robbo going to make a massive send like he done a couple of laps ago? No, he's not. He's going to think wiser of it. Wesley has a little peek around the outside, but Robbo shuts the door. And that's time up into P4 and Benjamin retaining P3 at the moment.
Very close quarters, everybody getting a little bit distracted of the hard battles. They really want to get ahead, but that seems to be a little bit more of a priority rather than trying to keep it in the race. So gotta calm down a little bit. There's a long way to go in this race. It actually does go by quite quickly, and there's a lag spike there as he goes to the outside line all of a sudden. I don't know if that was contact with Ben. Wesley Caspers goes around the outside. Benjamin understeers and Niffo collects him. I don't know if that was damage there for Niffo, but that's going to allow Lepik to come through. I don't know. I think that was a Benjamin understeering into the side of Wesley Caspers. I'd like to see the replay to see what happens there, but unfortunately that is the battle pretty much over. These two are going to continue to fight as Wesley will have a look on the next lap, but these guys don't actually need to fight each other. Of course, higher tier driver against a current tier driver, nothing to really worry about at the moment, so they just have to try and keep it civil between the two. Is Wesley going to go for that inside line? No, they're going to wait for the start finish straight. Niffo still in this race, but I don't know what just happened. A very close call between those guys. Benjamin all the way down the order, now right behind his teammate, going to try and get a bit of time on that DRS if possible. That is Wesley on the inside line. Is he going to go for it? No, Robbo's going to try and fight it back. I don't really know what their thinking is on this one. They don't need to do it, and they've actually gone so aggressive on the throttle they made contact with the wall, and that might be damage there for the Mercedes.
Yeah, Robbo losing a lot of time. But yeah, look at that understeer. He's lost so much time. He's got damage from defending. He tried to keep onto that track position so much. Maybe he thought with the clean air he would have been able to be faster than Wesley, which is almost a possibility. But now he's put it into the wall. So Robbo, it was looking good at the moment, but then he just, oh man, that's very unfortunate. He's in for a very good position. And now he's just made a bit of a mistake, and that's him in the wall. And now Nifflo's going to be over the back of him on the hard tyre. He's going to have to make a pit stop unless he can somehow find some pace on that hard tyre, on those medium tyre, sorry, with the damage. But at the moment, he's losing 2.5, 2.6. You know, he's losing so much time to Wesley. I don't think it's worth staying out as he loses the back end there. No battery left for him whatsoever. Nifflo's going to be all over the back of him. Nifflo using his battery also to try and catch up to him. But yeah, that's very unfortunate as Marco leaves. No, he was already out. My apologies. and yeah, that's very unfortunate. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, interesting to see, of course, Robbo and Nifo. Robbo goes into the pit lane, so I assume they do have damage. Nifo, I thought, might have had damage to the contact of Ben. If there was contact, it was very light. If there wasn't, then, wow, that's lucky. Doesn't actually get a wing replacement, so I don't know if they had damage or if it just didn't change their wing. That's quite possible with the game as it is, of course. Sometimes it just doesn't repair the wing. So, unfortunately, we won't know until later on in this race, of course. But Robbo still might have damage. Now, around a circuit like this, you can still kind of carry on with damage because, you know, there's a lot of straights on this circuit. You won't lose too much time. You'll lose a lot, but you won't lose as much as you would around a circuit with more slow-speed corners. Now, going as fast as they possibly can, very close to the track limits right there. 4 seconds now ahead of the entire field as Mizzy is in P2, trying their best to keep it. No second Williams in this battle after that one. Unfortunately, a voluntary retirement, interestingly, for Alfie. Could have got back into this and scored some points, but decided they didn't want to carry on, which is an interesting one, but it is what it is. Wesley Casper's catching up to the other Mercedes now, as that's leaping out. Both Ferraris now out. I don't believe it. On the left-hand side, I think they've just rode the curb and made a big mistake.
Ooh.
Costly. Ferrari, no points today after all of that, and now a safety car. Perfect timing. I say perfect timing. Pretty good timing for Cohen there.
Yeah, those guys on the medium tyres will be absolutely licking their lips at the sight of this. There's a safety car out for them, although Wesley decides to go into another set of mediums, so Wesley's going to try to do the two-stop. Cohen decides he's going to go to the end on the hard tyre, and Mizzy actually stays out, so maybe he's seeing something that we aren't at the moment. I mean, everyone's coming in. You got people on the hard tyres. Robbo's going to come back in for maybe another set of mediums. So Robbo going to the end on mediums, probably. So this is really shaking up the strategy. Neil Diamati, can I just say, he was disconnected a couple of laps ago, and now he's going to be back into the frame of this. Reese also, if he spin, oh, and he spun again on the safety car. He spun it on the safety car. I don't know what's going on, but he seems to be struggling very much so. So I don't know what's going on there, but he'll be able to catch up. So this is going to reset their order, calm everyone down, and hopefully we can get underway in the next few laps with hope. Well, I would say all the pit stops done. But remember, Mizzy still needs to pit, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see what's going to happen, especially with the people on new tyres.
Someone who was saved by this, of course, was Mildil Mati, who disconnected early on, lost a lot of time. Hopefully they can get back into this race, and hopefully they don't disconnect again, otherwise they're going to be in a little bit of an issue, a slight situation, of course, because if you do disconnect too many times, you won't be allowed to rejoin, and you will have to class it as a DNF. Everybody in the current tier driver situation, as long as they finish the race, they will score points. Of course, we've got both Wesley Caspers and Nifo as higher tier drivers, which does mean that currently Mil Diamati is running in P8 for the current tier drivers, so they could still get a lovely 4 points out of this if they can just take it to the end of the race. Mizzy leads the way at the moment, not pitting yet. They're on that medium tyre. I think what they're trying to do is extend it. Oh, this is a risky strat. It can sometimes work as long as they haven't called it way too early. Into the pit lane they go, and that was timed absolutely to perfection. That is absolutely incredible. I've seen other people try to get that done and it didn't quite work. It's not quicker. It wasn't quicker than pitting just a minute ago. So they're now going to have to overtake a very, very large amount of the field. And now they actually have... Well, no, they haven't slowed down Robert, of course. Robert was on that soft tyre, now onto the hards. They're going to go to the end here. Would you be able to go to the end on the mediums from this point of the race?
14 laps. No bother. Also, I'd like to ask Aaron, who was the other person you've seen try to do that strategy with the safety car?
I don't quite know. I can't quite remember their name. I know they. I think they were in a Mercedes as well, but can't quite remember who they were.
OTR. Yeah. I wonder who that would be.
Yeah, not sure. There was also somebody that I saw who just wasn't concentrating, and they completely overtook the safety car. That was at Belgium. Can't remember their name either. But they were kind of like me in a way. because I did that. I am the guy that did that anyway. And Zingy is the guy that overtook the safety car. Failed, so officially Mizzy is better than Zingy, better than the championship leader of the F1 tier. But yeah, Mizzy, interesting way to make a pit stop by waiting a lap. Unless they just didn't react in time, maybe. Maybe they didn't actually have their tyres that they wanted selected, because the pit lane for Mercedes just comes up so quickly compared to other teams. So maybe that's why they can still get back through this field. But of course, with Kern, who had the pace advantage, at least on the medium tyre, it's looking very, very good. We have Wesley Caspers and Nifo higher tier drivers. Kern doesn't need to fight them. He probably knows that as well. But yeah, Mizzy's got a bit of work to do. Safety car in this lap called him pretty late. Wesley Caspers will be the one to react. Doesn't need to risk anything. He's actually made contact with Cohen, interestingly. Hopefully they don't have damage. Cohen doesn't have a time penalty. I think Nifo's from something else, and Wesley Casper's going side by side, so he's going to end up getting himself a time penalty if he's doing that too much. He's got to be extremely careful. He's made a mistake, immediately makes a mistake, and that is a big, big problem for the rest of the field as they are affected. Cohen gets a lovely restart as now Nifo is in P2 all of a sudden. Larlet right there behind. We got JJ and Benjamin side by side into turn one. Benjamin makes the move as JJ actually backs off to allow his teammate to go through, and Mizzy in P6. Of course, the two Mercedes, they want to try and scuffle a little bit, but I think, are they on different tyres? No, they're on the same tyre, so Mizzy going to try and get back up the order if they possibly can to try and do their best to recover all those positions that they lost. But I have no idea what happened there. Wesley Casper's going alongside, kept it to a tight line, got the throttle and spun. So that's what you do. Benjamin on the outside of Larlick there. Lovely stuff. Onto the inside goes Larlick to try and get the run. Is it going to be possible? Is he going to have to back off? He's on the outside line. He will possibly back off, but no, he's going to hold it. Has to go off the circuit. Going to lose time for that one, and that might be JJ getting a run. No, they won't just yet, but they might have a chance here. Larlick, though, is very quick in a straight line. We know that for sure. Will he be able to catch up to Benjamin on the exit of 22, or is it not going to be enough? Benjamin absolutely running away with it now. Going to try his best to chase down the leader. Here we go, as Robbo actually has made a move on Mizzy, and he's now going to make a move on JJ. Is he going to get another move on Larlick as well? He has an amazing, amazing run. Tries to pinch him to put the pressure on to the outside line. Now he goes side by side. It's a drag race up the order. JJ sitting at the back at the moment. Larlick once again showing their straight line speed. Robbo, though, has the advantage. He will take the position, and once again being fought is Larlick. JJ backs off to try and defend from the Mercedes. They will defend from the Mercedes. They're back again, but they're gonna have to back off and wait. So a disastrous few moments there for Mizzy. Been overtaken by the teammate and can't get through.
Yeah, Robbo making the most of an absolutely insane situation, going around the outside of two drivers. He's really pinched Larlick onto the edge of the track there, and he's made the overtake stick. Now JJ is going to be on those medium tyres, and he's going to be much faster than Larlick for the time being, coming through the very fast hairpin, I like to call it. And he can't do anything at the moment. He seems to be a bit too far away. DRS not available as of yet. But here comes Matty on Reese. They're going side by side into turn 16 and 17. Matty goes a bit wide, so that means he may have to give up the position, but he hasn't at the moment. And he's kept it into P8. Matty is at the moment. But Reese isn't looking for a fight back at the moment. He's just going to stay behind for now. So, yeah, that's a very good move from Matty.
Back with JJ though, sorry to butt in, because these guys are making the move to the outside line. JJ wants to try and follow his teammates' footsteps, as he wasn't able to. Of course, the Mercedes splitting them. Larlick backs off this time. Mizzy isn't able to keep with the guys up ahead. So do they have damage? Did they make a mistake, and was that why Robbo was able to get through all of a sudden? It's quite possible, but he's having to just try and carry on with the damage damage if possible and wait for the DRS, which might give him a slight advantage. We'll have to wait and see if it will give them the advantage, but at the moment it's not looking good for Mizzy, especially with a time penalty as well. Larlock in P6, not able to keep up with the medium tyre runner of JJ. Not sure what tyre JJ started on. Nevertheless, I think they'll be good to go to the end if they've made a recent pit stop.
Yeah, those guys on medium tyres. I mean, everyone's going to be able to go to the end, so pit stops won't be a worry at the moment. It's just going to be fighting for track position. Speaking of, Nefeljan is all over the back of Cohen, obviously him being a higher tier driver and on the faster tyre. You expect him to get moved on quite easily, but Cohen's actually going to be defending us a little bit using a sprinkle of ERS to try and keep ahead. The move isn't going to be on into turn 22, Nefel knows better. It's Reese! Reese goes up, oh wait no! Matty spun! He's spun coming into 16 and 17 and he's lost control as Benjamin gets a 3-second time penalty. That's going to have massive implications on the race. But here comes Robbo. Which way is he going to go? To the right hand side. Ben defending the inside ferociously, coming into the last corner now. He squeezes him up against the wall, but Robbo's done it! He's went right around the outside and he's up into a podium place. He's P2 provisionally, but here comes Ben. Benjamin with a lot more ERS. He's going to send it back around the outside as Neffel goes for it on Cohen into turn 1. Benjamin's gone for P2 once again as Matty retires. And that's Benjamin up into P3 and a third safety car has been deployed.
Okay, interesting. I think this would probably be a time for a set of medium tyres, if drivers have a set of medium tyres left, that is, of course. Some people might not have one left, so that is interesting. Everybody who have retired. We've got quite a lot of the grid out now, so unfortunately that will not be a lot of people scoring points tyre wise. You wouldn't actually need to pit if you're on the medium tyre. You would probably want to pit if you're on the hard tyre, however. So Cohen actually might lose a fair bit out of this because Benjamin will be able to catch up, although Cohen is extremely quick, maybe even quicker while on this hard tyre. So it really depends. Does he want track position over tyre preference? That is the question, of course. Benjamin also has a time penalty, so Cohen will be a little bit safer, of course, with that situation. Robbo, he might want to go for a pit stop. That's if he has the tyres left, of course, as he tried to make the move back to Benjamin, but of course the safety car came out immediately and unfortunately doesn't allow them to get through. Not really sure what's gone on here. Mizzy will be able to get back into this race. Hopefully they can get their wing changed as well so they can be back on the pace and maybe try and fight for the lead. They've already gone into that pit lane, so they're going to gain a fair bit out of this because everybody else is going to have to pit. Recently, Robbo decides not to, interestingly. Cohen does pit, so Robbo's going to go for the track position without any time penalties. Is that going to work? I don't know. Lark as well.
That is a Robbo strategy right there. It's different, it's weird, but if you think about it, if he can hold his own in the corners, you can't really overtake much of the corners. The first sector's one line, and the second sector is very, very tricky to overtake. It's more of the third sector that you really can make a move. So Robbo, in a way, can save his battery for those sectors. He's also got Larlock as a rear gunner. So, oh no!
In the pit lane.
Oh.
So, an interesting one, not really sure. So, what I think might have happened here is Mizzy's maybe gone for a second pit stop to repair their wing as they didn't get it repaired the time before. Either accidentally put on a set of softs or has just decided to give up. I don't really know.
Or unless he tried to put on another set of tyres, which could have been a possibility.
Yeah, and then they've just decided to end it there. I don't really know. Of course, with not that long left of the race to go and so many points to possibly gain, especially with Benjamin getting that penalty as well. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one for sure. But yeah, their teammate leads the way. That's only one Mercedes left in this race.
There might only be one Mercedes left in that race, but it's Robbo, for God's sake. I mean, I say this about a lot of drivers. People can be on pace, like you got your Cohen, who's in P3 at the moment, on no fresh medium tyres. He's going to be the first one to pounce. with no penalties, so Cohen has every reason to go for it and try to win this race. Benjamin behind with a penalty, with Niffle behind also with a penalty. Reese is also in a good position if he can get past Ben and Niffle, or we'll just try and get past the guys that he needs to. You know, it's going to be looking very good for Reese. He hasn't given up and he's prevailed, and now with less than 10 laps to go, he's in a very good share of a points paying position at the moment. So it's anyone's race to win, man. You can't really put a finger on it.
Yeah, I have a question here. So, of course, Wesley has gone for a pit stop. They're quite a way behind at the field at the moment. Interestingly, Niffo's gone for a set of softs. Okay, fair enough. But they're quite a way behind the order. Safety car hasn't come in this lap because of that reason. Is that a benefit to the hard tyres the longer the safety car stays out, or do they want to try and let the medium tyre get a bit more extra wear on it for later?
Well, you can look at it either way. You can look at it as, on the slower tyres you have less time to defend because obviously you got less laps, or you can think about it as the tyres are going to wear it more if the safety car went in, and this is bad for me. So it's either or, you know. It's depending on how you look at the race. But, you know, oh no! Oh, sorry to interrupt myself there, but Wesley's gone for a little pirouette out of the first sector, and I don't know what's happened there. Maybe his tyres are overheating under safety car. Those soft tyres are very vulnerable to the overheating, so maybe that's an issue that will be prominent with Niffle as well, obviously being on that soft tyre, pushing it to the limit, overtaking a bunch of cars and being in dirty air. So that's something we need to watch out for. Remember, these two are going to be absolutely rapid. Wesley not as much with his more worn out tyres, but with the safety car coming in probably this lap, and those soft tyres having to do 7-8 laps, they're going to be quick. But it's going to be very tricky towards the end of the race, especially with the limited grip. We're going to wait for the confirmation as he comes through the third sector split round about now. And yeah, safety car is in.
Lovely stuff. Now, we'll see what those guys can do on the soft tyres. They just got to be careful, of course. Robbo leads the way, and it'll be Larlock to react. Robbo on that hard tyre, so is Larlock. So Robbo's got a bit of a help, of course, with Larlock being on that same tyre. It's kind of a, well, I'm not trying to say blockade, but compared to everybody on the medium tyre, they're going to be extremely quick. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Robbo's not gone for it just yet. Not gone for it, not gone for it. When's he going to go? And he's gone for it now. Lovely stuff. It's a good restart from Kirby. He's pretty much alongside. Don't want to get a move before the line. Benjamin gets the overtake before the line. That's going to be a little bit interesting. It's 4 wide into turn 1. They back off, and that's Cohen trying to take the lead out of all of that. Race into P3. Is it going to work? Yes, it will. Benjamin gets the P4 in the end as they don't actually make any progress. Of course, Larlock right there as that's Niffo going off. JJ losing positions to Wesley Caspers and Niffo. Not the worst thing in the world, of course, with the higher tier drivers, but that's very, very interesting indeed. And Robbo gets a really good restart. They're maintaining it for now, but Cohen, the race leader from earlier on, is now back right behind them, sniffing. No, that's a very bad phrase. Don't use that at Cohen in P2. Right wants to go for it very, very early on. He's so quick, pushing hard because he knows if he can get through, he'll have clean air, and that'll be even more valuable around a circuit like this, which is so high speed. Reese gonna possibly get challenged by Benjamin, as Benjamin really close, having a look left and right, gonna wait for it into the next straight because he thinks that's probably a better idea, and it is pretty much a better idea. Cohen and Robbo are probably gonna switch around, no doubt about that. But Benjamin, that's the question, is he gonna go for a move now? He will go for a move to the outside line. Reese goes to the inside, he's gonna go round the outside, so is Cohen up ahead. Of course, Cohen's getting challenged quite aggressively, a wheel bang between the Alpine and the McLaren, but manages to keep it in a straight line. They got to be so careful indeed. Cohen's going to get the run. I think Robbo has to kind of back off if they really want to just work together, but no, they don't. They're sending it to the inside. The Williams has to push a little bit harder onto the curb, loses the rear, saves it, but that is the move done. So close as that's actually almost contact, I think, by Wesley Caspers and Reese. Reese now loses the position, not able to fight back with Benjamin. Benjamin is through.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Is Wesley has so much more grip on the soft tires, as I said. Ben also with more grip than Robbo. Robbo not able to be able to defend. Wesley over the back of Reese, actually tapping him a little bit. That's going to cancel his chances of making a move into the hairpin. And Reese keeping on to P4 at the moment. But these guys are absolutely rapid on the soft tires. Look at the grip difference. He just can't seem to find a way through though. Benjamin on Robbo at the moment. He can't find a way through either. He goes a bit wide, and that might... Oh, he's hit the wall. He's hit the wall. I don't know what I was going to say there, but now he's hit the wall. And that's Ben losing a bunch of time. Now Reese is going to be over the back of him. Niffle looking for a move on Wesley coming into turn 22. And he's done it. He's going to go right around the outside. And he's made the move sick. Niffle up into P5. Coming through into the last few corners now. He's going to be all over the back of Reese. Reese with a lot more ERS than Niffle. Niffle's light is definitely flashing at this point. Coming through into the last corner. Reese is going to battle it. And he's not made the move, he's defended the move, and he's done absolutely fantastically. Coming onto the straight now, Wesley has nothing to respond with. But now he's going to use his ERS, he's going to go to the inside. As Ben's going to be looking for a move on Robbo, he can't make it at the moment. These two are going side by side once again, Wesley and Nifflejan for P5. And Wesley keeps his position for the moment. What a move. As we see Ben going to go up the inside into turn 4. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's thought better of it. And he's stuck into P3 at the moment. Ben really needs to find a way past, but he's really struggling. And Reese, well, Reese is just trying to cling on to these guys. He's doing a very good job at the moment. Looking for a possible podium. He's made a mistake and he's crashed! Oh my god, it's a catastrophic accident. Reese is out of the race with 5 laps to go. And it's 4 safety cars in 20 laps. And that's going to really, really shake up the field once again. Wow. That was very intense, but it all got too boiled over, and that's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, I think what's happening is, of course, Reese wanted to stay ahead of Rusty Caspers because he knows if he can stay as close as he can to Ben, the time penalty advantage would be extreme, and he would be able to get an extra position and maybe a P2. That would have been 2 podiums in a row, of course. Now, Benjamin, not going to have the pressure from... Reese, of course, anymore, which I don't really know what to say, but he is now going to be bunched up again, which is going to be extremely difficult for him to be able to defend from that time penalty range. Cohen, I assume, isn't going to go for a set of tyres. Robbo might have to here. He's going to be at such a disadvantage, and he would get such an advantage off the soft tyres. The risk that you are running now is going behind all those other cars, and possibly, well, I say that actually, possibly getting damaged by trying to fight, but into the pit lane, gets a front wing change, interestingly, as he now leaves the pit lane. He might get jumped by the likes of Niffo. No, Niffo had damage as well. JJ is now into P3 with no time penalty, so it's a McLaren 2-3. Robbo is going to be right there as well, so it was looking good. Had to get that wing change though, and he's jumped by one of the McLarens.
McLaren absolutely... Well, I don't know what the right word would be, but they're loving it at the moment. We're not sponsored by McDonald's for the second week in a row, I just want to make that clear. But JJ on the soft tyre, he's got a few laps left. Benjamin, if he's going to think about it, he might let JJ go here, and JJ could be off for his first ever win in LSI. Robbo obviously going to be looking for that win once again. He's won a couple of times before, and with his very wacky strategy, he somehow made it up into P4. Niffle on the medium tyre, so that might be it over for him. Wesley and Larlick on the soft tyre, so you got the 3, 4, 6 and 7 on softs, everyone else on mediums. So the pace difference is going to be absolutely massive with about 4 free laps to go. I mean, place your bets, people. Who's going to win this race? What do you think, Aaron?
I don't know. Kern is extremely quick for this race, and that's Robbo switching positions with JJ. Okay. I'm gonna have to note that down. Don't know what happened there. Sorry to just change the subject. Well, right now, Robbo just made that move, of course. JJ and Robbo both, they're collectively going to be extremely quick. Larlock also could be in the fight there as well. No time penalty for them. Benjamin, it's extremely difficult for them. Cohen, what I wanted to say is it's so quick. Really good in qualifying, of course, and extremely quick on race pace this time around. It's absolutely incredible. So I don't know if anybody's going to be able to really match Cohen. Benjamin is going to be right there in P2 on that medium tire. So we've got a similar situation, of course, that we just had not too long ago with the double hards at the start, I think. So yeah, Cohen, I think, can still benefit from this a lot with no not many laps left of this race to go, of course, as well. He's going to be able to ration that ERS, use it effectively. He's going to have a lot of it as well to hold on to the set of soft tyres runners. The soft tyres aren't going to drop off, so it's going to be tough if they can challenge, that is. But Cohen's going to be absolutely rapid, and I think he still has a very good chance of getting this here.
Yeah, Cohen obviously has a very good chance of winning this. I mean, everyone does, man. There's 7 people left out of 15. It's been an absolutely crazy race. No one's confirmed winning so far. It's not over until the checkerfly drops, of course. But the thing is, man, I couldn't put money on anyone to win this race. Seeing how this race has went so far, the moves, and then people using the moves to their advantage to sneak past, you know, it's absolutely mental. This track has brought up so many, so many overtakes, so many strategy changes, so many incidents. You can't really tell who's going to win. There's going to be, 3 laps to go after this, and no one, people are all going to be on the soft tyre, are going to be rapid. People in the medium won't be as quick, although they might phase in within the last lap or so. The safety car's in this lap, and we're going to be going racing once again.
Benjamin, right in P2, going to be reacting. He's got to do as best as he possibly can. Damage limitation for Benjamin at the moment. Doesn't really need to worry too much, of course, with P2 in the championship. Gilly not finishing this race. So at the moment, it's all good at the moment. Now, Cohen leads the way. Going to try and look at a 3rd win this season, 3rd win overall as well. Can he get it done? Benjamin right there has to be really careful because the safety car, how close he was to the cars ahead last time around, it was a little bit questionable. Going to get a lovely restart there going. That's exactly what he needed with the tyre situation. And Benjamin, pretty good restart as well. So nobody's going to be able to challenge the top 2 for now. That is absolutely perfect from these guys. That's what they wanted. Side by side as Wesley tries to go for a move. They actually make contact and cut the corner. As that's JJ. No, Benjamin, no, it is JJ fighting very closely there with Nefo, but has to back off in the end. Benjamin, no, it was Benjamin, sorry, my bad, as he actually gets passed by Robbo. Robbo's absolutely insane on the pace at the moment, and he's catching Cohen a lot here. Now, Cohen, he's very slow compared to Robbo in the corner section. In the first sector, that's going to be where he's absolutely rapid, whereas on the straights, Cohen is actually going to have a chance of defending here, of course. That's if his setup is beneficial enough. So the question is, will Robbo's cornering speed be enough of a benefit compared to Cohen's straight line speed, of course, with the ERS being so much at the moment, and they're going to be allowing them to defend?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Robbo, purple middle sector, is absolutely flying, pushing it to the limit. He's gained so much time through that turn 22 to 23 section, coming through into the last few corners now. He's not going to be looking for a move, although the McLarens will be switching places, and that's going to be inviting Wesley to go up the inside. JJ defending, and it'll be contact! JJ's lost his wing! JJ's lost his wing, he's made contact with Wes, and now he's going to be having to go into the pits with 2 laps to go, although he sticks it out on track. So JJ's still thinking he can somehow recover a few points here. Coming into the first corner now, Benjamin's going to be letting Niffle go, and maybe thinking that Niffle can cause a bit of carnage up ahead, not in a bad way, maybe slowing up the leaders whilst battling. But that's absolutely diabolical scenes, as JJ was on course for his first win, only for the game to glitch him back, and then obviously making contact with Wesley, and now Larlock's all over the back of him, and it just went from bad to worse for the McLarens. Nothing's went their way today, and yeah, that's not That's not what we want to see. But cutting back with the leaders coming onto the last few laps now. As Cohen makes contact with the wall, that shouldn't be any damage. It was his rear tyre after all. Robbo coming through the last, not the last few corners, through the chicane onto the second straight where you can possibly overtake, but he's not going to for the moment. ERS looking kind of similar at the moment, so at this rate it looks like Cohen has got a good chance, although remember Robbo is on that soft tyre, he won't be able to do anything at the moment. However, the gaps behind are very spread, so we're just going to keep on board with this. Coming onto the last lap, Robbo, is he going to go for a massive send like he done like 20 laps ago? Nah, he's thinking better of it. He knows the circumstances that he's under, and he needs to think about it very strategically. Onto the last lap of the Grand Prix, Cohen leads the way from Robbo with an F1.5 with an outside chance of winning and setting the fastest lap into turn 1 now. He's just going to have to keep it nice and cool, composed and calm if he wants to win this race. But Robbo, remember, on those grippier tyres, is going to have to say something about that. There's nothing coming on behind, so I mean, there's nothing to comment on. So back with this, coming through the first sector, this is going to be Robbo's strong point. He's really pushing the car here. He's really keeping it nice and tidy. Cohen, he cuts the corner a bit and loses his car, so he's got a warning there, so he needs to be careful that he does not get a track invalidation and a penalty just like Lawlick has there. Now, coming onto the last two straights now, ERS is going to be vital. It looks as though Robbo might have a tiny bit more than Lawlick. Is Lawlick not Lawlick, Cohen, Lawlick actually makes a move on Wesley coming into this little hairpin. Coming into turn 22 now, DRS is actually available. I didn't realise that. Robbo closes it strategically so that he has to wait for the final corner to overtake. Now coming through the turn 22-23 part for the last time, ERS is going to be deployed fully here. Coming into the last corner, Robbo's got the DRS. Cohen is going to defend it inside. Robbo, where's he going to go? He's going to have to go to the right hand side into the last few corners now. Cohen goes very wide to keep him all away, and he's put him into the wall. He's put him into the wall, and he's made contact with Niffle, and Cohen wins under very weird circumstances. And Robbo's P2. That's not the way we want to see that end. Oh, that's a shame. Benjamin P3. Lawlick P4, JJ P5 for the EU drivers, of course. Oh man, that's not the way I wanted to see that end.
That was a heck of a way to finish this race. All those safety cars, of course, heightens the risk of the collisions, and that's what we got. Well done to Cohen for now, at least. Very, very good performance today. Great pace. We're going to go through the grid, though, of course. That's very good points for McLaren as well, I should say, of course, compared to Ferrari. So they're going to extend their gap, of course, in the Constructors' Championship as well. Now, I am waiting for the loading. There you go. As you can see, Cohen taking the top spot, of course. And here we go. Cohen takes the win. Robbo in P2. And then we have Niffo in P3. We've got Benjamin in P4. Lawlick, Wesley Caspers, followed by JJ. And then DNFing, we have Reese, Mizzy, Mil Diamati, Lepic, Blake, Alfie, Gilly, and Marco on the start, of course, with those two guys at the end. We'll skim through the race director just in case we need to, because I am sure we will have to do so, and onto pit stops just in case as well, and then we will see you in a bit for the post-race interviews. Hello everyone and welcome back to LSI F1.5 Championships. We're today for the post-race interviews of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. That was pretty hectic for sure. Benjamin, we start with you. It was pretty mad in the end, I think. Did you end up on the podium there, excluding the higher tier drivers?
I did keep track, I think so, maybe.
So, are you happy with that one, of course, with the Ferraris not scoring any points, constructors as well, JJ getting a juicy amount of points too?
That's what we'll have to see. No Ferraris in the race, but I reckon I could have got better. I reckon I could have held some people up if I got them behind me, but yeah, that's unfortunate.
Do you think maybe a win would have been possible or not quite?
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. I don't know, I had wing damage from like mid-race all the way to the end, so I don't know.
Fair enough. Still, a great effort, of course, and with that medium tyre at the end. Pretty risky strategy, but you tried to make it work. Brazil, next time. Do you prefer the track over Saudi Arabia?
I think I will do, yeah.
Cool.
Hopefully not as many problems.
Fair enough. Other than that, thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
P3, only need 2.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we go on to JJ. JJ, lovely points in the end. It's not what you wanted, of course. The damage did pretty much screw you right over. Do you think you might have been able to get to the top if that damage didn't occur? Nice to know. Awesome. Alright, I think we'll just go straight on to Cohen then. No worries at all. He had a very good race and might have been able to get on the softs. I will answer that for him, of course. Here we go. Cohen, well done today. Great job in the great job pretty much the entire race, of course. At the end it got a little bit hectic, but other than that, still the pace was very, very good. I think you're faster despite being on the harder tyre. So yeah, can you take us through that one?
Yeah, well, the end was a bit hectic, as you say. So yeah, my pace was good. I was very happy with that. Yeah, at the end, the last corner, I think I tried to give him room, but yeah, at the end it just stopped. So we touched wheels, and he ended up touching the wall, I guess. I hope I don't get a penalty for that, or he doesn't. But yeah, overall, I'm very happy because all the safety cars were quite hectic, because the last one I didn't hope for that one because I was all like 2 seconds away, so I thought that's in the bag, but then the last one came as well.
Yeah, very well handled, of course, with all of that, and it wasn't looking in your favour towards the end, of course, with that tyre situation, but you still managed to make it work. We'll have to look on the replay for all the other stuff, and you know, reports can be made later on, but still a great effort and very, very good pace. Brazil, do you prefer it over Saudi Arabia? I don't know if you would, actually, because it's quite a good circuit, Saudi.
Yeah, Saudi is a good circuit, but probably one of my baddest circuits for myself. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Brazil because I like that one a lot.
Awesome. Well, I mean, if you prefer Brazil over Saudi Arabia, then we might see even more of a gap mid-race. Really well done. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
A very high intensity.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done
Thank
today. We move on to Mizzy. Mizzy, that was quite annoying. Of course, you were in the battle for a while. The pit stops didn't exactly help. Did you get damage as well?
Yeah, so at the beginning I was not really keeping up. I was kind of dropping back from the lead, but I was still hanging on with. But yeah, I retired because I had a front wing damage because I was fighting quite hard with JJ. He had front wing damage himself, so I just tried to get past him, right? And then I was kind of forced into the walls a few times. I just couldn't get past him. He was defending really well, so that caused me front wing damage. Well, not his fault, completely my fault, but I pitted, and then they didn't change my front wing, so I pitted again. I specifically selected yes to change my front wing, and they still didn't change it, so I just retired because I would just lose too much time, and the safety car was ending anyway, so, you know, I didn't want to continue at that point. I was pretty frustrated, so just retired.
Fair enough. It's a shame, but the pace was there, so I guess that's a plus. Brazil, do you think that's going to go better than Saudi Arabia with the not so close falls?
I hope so. I didn't. I had 0 race pace here, so I just hope in the Brazil is gonna be better than here. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a very different circuit, so it might be the case. So yeah, really well done. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Oh mate. I don't really know.
Don't worry
I'd
if you
say-
can. Don't worry if you can.
Very mid. Not good. I don't know.
All good. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to Nifo. Nifo, very hectic in the end. You managed to take a P3, almost a P2, of course. Are you happy with that one in the end after all the mix-up with strategies, etc.?
I mean, I got P2 because, I mean, I'm guessing because Robo overtook on the safety car, he's getting a penalty for that. So I guess I'm P2, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, it was so hectic. Like at this first straight, like I think the halves on the left side spotted to the right side, so everybody on the right had to stop. I was on the left, so I was lucky, so I overtook a lot of people. And then just people spotted in front of me, hit my front wing, got a little bit of damage, but it was alright. Then someone spotted again in front of me, and I hit him again. So I got again a little bit of wing damage, but it was such a tiny bit, so I could just drive on. Then the safety car came out, I pitted, and then it went in, and I didn't expect Cohen and to slow down that much. It's not his fault at all, I'm just not me paying enough attention. And then I think Wesley didn't expect it as well because he went next to Cohen, and because I saw that I was like, oh, they're racing. I'm like, oh, we're not that slowing down that much. So I didn't fully hit my brakes. I hit it pretty hard, but I couldn't stop it in time. And Wesley was lucky because he could go on the right, but there was nowhere for me to go. So I just hit in the back of Wesley, got orange wing. So I just continued to race with that for half the race. Then another safety car came out, and the repair thing was an auto. Didn't change my wing. I went back again, and in the pit lane I wanted to change it to yes, like before it automates you. Didn't let me do it again, so I had to pit another time after on the last stint to go on mediums instead of softs. Could change my front wing, and then the last stint, JJ and Wesley collided in front of me, and Robbo and Cohen collided. So yeah, just the people spinning in front of me wasn't the optimal thing, but it was an interesting race. Let's say that.
Yeah, I always seem to be in a bad position. I get Nifo, the king of bad positions. That's what she said. Brazil, I think it's a good circuit for you. I know, of course, yesterday you said you might not be able to get too much practice in there, but still, great progress. Recently, the pace is there. Do you prefer Brazil over Saudi Arabia? I'm going to ask it again anyway.
Wait, where's my mic? Oh, fine.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. Yeah. I prefer it. Just a little practice is not going to help.
Yeah, fair enough. Alrighty, thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Where is wing?
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to the final one. Robbo, what a shame. What an effort, but what a shame. Still, great points, great progress, and I know you're not going to be happy with the end result, but I think you should still be proud. You came from quite far back with the very, very interesting strategy. You had to do it. It was worth the gamble. It was worth the calls. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, I think I had about a solid 5 or 6 stops there. I think that's quite enough. Maybe next time I'll try go for 7. We'll see how it goes in Brazil. It was a good race. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of overtakes, a lot of close racing, which was really nice to see. I got wing damage quite a bit. There was something wrong with my wheel. I wasn't able to counter any oversteer. The force feedback wasn't coming through, but I was able to sort of manage it. And then at the end, I was on hards. Cohen got past quite easily. He was rapid on the straights, which was very hard to go against. And then I thought I'll pit onto softs. I had wing damage from turn 2 with Cohen, so I thought I might as well pit, see how it goes. But then everyone else pitted, so I was like, oh, that's great. I only ended up behind JJ, who I am sorry for overtaking on a safety car. The game told me to pass, so I passed without really thinking too much. So that possibly might have been my fault. I'm not sure what the possible bug was, but it is what it is. And then at the end, the end was the end. I'm not really going to comment much on that. We'll see what happens about that.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree. We'll have to look at it later on. That's always worth a look at the replay, of course. Get some good angles on it. Still, great job today. Great effort. Good points. Good progress. And it's on its way, that win. I'm sure it will be. Brazil, do you think you can maybe do it there?
Yeah, hopefully. I hope for every race that I can get a win every single time. Still waiting, but I think Brazil's a nice track to race at. As always, a bit of carnage in the Brazil races. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, really, really well done. I know it's not the one you wanted, but you should be proud. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Mad, chaotic, overtakes.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thanks.
And that's been it from me. I will now pass you over to Zingy.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching that very hectic and chaotic race. Join us for Tuesday for the practice races, which will be taking part at 7 PM BST. Join us for Friday and Saturday for the LSI Championships as well, for another hectic and hopefully amazing race at Brazil. That's been it from us, and we'll see you later, man. See you.